Hey everyone, back for another Crust video. I released a Crust video a couple of days ago, but the team just announced a slightly different reward structure, which means I will redo the video. The old video will still be online, but I'm going to present this one. Just I think that there's some continuity between what I've said and what the real reality is now. The other thing is this particular video, I made a recording last night, but the sound quality is quite quiet. What I've done, as you can probably guess, I've changed my headphones for a microphone. The headphones were loud enough, but the sound quality was pretty poor. Now with the microphone, the sound quality should be good, but the operating system is making it low. Anyway, this is why the sound is lower than it should be. I'm now trying to change that by making the microphone closer to me and, making sure that all of the levels are up as high as they can be. And, that's where we are. This is also kind of covering half of my screen, which makes it a little bit more difficult for me. So, what are we talking about here? Crust Network are going to release a Parachain which will connect to Kusama that they call Shadow Network, and that will connect to the Crust main network itself. It's the Shadow Network which is going in for the PLO, the Parachain Lease offering, not Crust. Crust, I don't know if it will be on Polkadot or if it's just always going to be a separate network. That's the part I don't know. As I say in all of my videos, I say this is not supposed to be financial advice. I think you should own your own risks. I think you should do your own research. The reason that I do these videos is partly because I enjoy the videos and partly to share some of the things I've learned, and hopefully, you learn something too. Also at the same time, if I make a mistake with my analysis, then hopefully someone out there in the crowd can say, hey, you have made a mistake, or have you considered, or have you seen, here's another nuance that you've missed. So I think there's something in the fact that we have a community and we can kind of help each other out with doing our research, but it's not meant to be like the only source of your education. So anyway, let me push on because this is going to be probably a longer video than I would like. So what happened? The day after I did all of my analysis, the Crust network basically said, hey, we're going to change our rewards from 1 CRU per KSM to 1.5 CRU per KSM. Now, they released this tweet the day before I recorded my video, but a day after I did my analysis. And the interesting, strange, annoying thing, however you want to look at it, Crust Network had a Twitter account called Crust Network, but it got suspended just because Twitter have been clamping down on cryptocurrency accounts, and they got axed because of it. Nothing to do with the team, I don't think. I used to follow them. I think the tweets were fine, but that is what it is. So they have a new account. I missed it. I didn't see this update, hence my numbers are out. And I thought it was worth doing another video because it's quite a boost. It's a 50% boost, and that I think it changes the numbers that it makes it worth a second look. So the rewards pool, which was 20,000, is now 30,000. They're going to pay out 30,000. That's the absolute max CRU tokens that they will pay out or can pay out, because that's what they've committed to. So they actually have two cases where they're saying, okay, look, we have a max number of CRU that we will pay out, but there's also a max number of KSM. It's not a max number of KSM. Okay, that's not quite right. They have, let me just take you through the reward structure. The reward structure is this. You can get 1.5 CRU per KSM if there's less than 20,000 Kusamas in the PLO. If it goes above 20,000 Kusama in the PLO, then you get a pro rata payout. And because the max pool is capped, that means that you have to get less than 1.5 CRU per KSM in the pro rata case. The other additional kicker, which I was kind of downplaying in my previous video, maybe that's a bit naughty, is that you can get a 7% per week reward for participating in the auction. 7% per week of the auction. So if the auction goes for 1 week, then you get 7% extra tokens. If it goes for 2 weeks, 14%. And if it goes for 5 weeks, it's 5 times 7, so 35%, which, you know, it's nice. I mean, that's definitely quite a boost, right? If it goes for 5 weeks and you get all of that. I figured for 7%, it wasn't worth adding it into the calculations. It makes things a little bit more tricky. And again, you know, this is something that you could do in your own time. So this is what I said in my previous video. This is like the numbers which are wrong. Let me just present them again so you can see, you know, what did I say before? This gives you some continuity between the videos. I said that the price per CRU was $99. That was the 5th of May. $172 market cap, and then you got 1 CRU per KSM, so $99, etc. I won't go to the bottom of the slide. You don't need to know this. This is the wrong stuff. It's history. What they have now is 1.5 CRU per KSM. But again, this is with a number of $99, which was only a few days ago. That's the 5th of May. So it's like 5-6 days ago. But the price has actually dropped since then. Now, whenever the Parachain auctions launch, of course, we don't know what the price will be then, because we don't exactly know when that date is going to be. Is it going to be in 1 week or 2 weeks or, you know, 2 months? We don't exactly know. So I figured let's just do the analysis at the old numbers. And if you get 1.5 CRU per KSM, you get $148.50. In the case where there's less than 20,000 KSM, and then in the case above 20,000 KSM, you can see that the numbers start to drop. If you got to the 1% participation level, so 1% of all Kusama chasing this PLO, then you'd get $30 reward, just under. I don't think that's particularly attractive, but I also don't think we're probably going to get there. We're probably going to see, I mean, I think it's kind of reasonable for them to be in this case of less than 20,000 KSM. Even if it hits 20,000, it's not entirely terrible. But, you know, here's where we are. Now, when I did my numbers the other day, which was on the 9th of May, I redid the numbers, and the price had dropped to $80. Now, I looked at the price again this morning, and the price has dropped a bit more. It was like $76. So that's like a drop of like, well, 20% from like 100 to 80, right? That roughly. And then dropping from like 100 to like 76 is like a 24% drop, which is, you know, it's a pretty big correction. You know, we are in risky markets here. But I just worked through with the $80 because that's what I did. All of the slides here were done. You know, the analysis was done. And, you know, in a month's time, you know, who knows, the price could be back to 80. Don't see why not. Could be back to 99. Who knows? Anyway, here we are. So 1.5 KSM, 1.5 CRU per KSM would get you a reward of $120 per KSM, you know, in dollar value. Then if you look into the case above 20,000, then of course the reward starts to drop, as you can tell. I'm going to leave you guys to do this in your own time if you want to see how that matches up. So that's the reward in CRU, but you're also going to need to know what's like the opportunity cost. You have to compare it against something, and this is my naive base case. I'm saying that I think Kusama could easily double over the space of not the Parachain auction, but the Parachain lease. And they're saying, for Crust, they're saying they want their Parachain lease to be 48 weeks. That's how long their Parachain will last for until they have to go through another auction. 48 weeks is just shy of a year. And could KSM double over the next 12 months? Yeah, it could. We don't know where Bitcoin or Ethereum will go, you know, i.e. the market. That's where most of the money is right now. And they still determine where Kusama will go because they're just such a dominant factor. So this is something which, you know, it is risky, you know, keep that in mind. But I think, you know, doubling could happen. You know, maybe tripling or quadrupling or 10 times can happen. But I'm trying not to just hype that too much. So if Kusama just doubles, you hold one Kusama, you buy it at $450, it doubles, and of course your reward, the money that you make, is $450. If you also stake that at 20%, then your reward is $630. 20% is a bit high, yes, I know. There's reasons for that, but it'll be reasons that I will explore in another video. So let's do the actual comparison. If CRU was $99, funnily enough, this would be the price, I guess not technically during the PLO, but actually at the end of the year, because that's when you're going to be looking at your total reward from the PLO. It's going to be at the end of the year and say, okay, did I actually make a smart move by getting invested in this PLO and holding it for 1 year? So this value is kind of like saying if CRU was just 99, then it's like saying that the price was flat, right? So that's actually the first point here that I calculated of like the three scenarios of CRU. So I'm saying you're going to either hold KSM and it will double, and you will stake it. That's this here, and that will get you $630 reward over the space of about a year. Or you can hold your Kusama, lock it, and take the CRU tokens from the PLO. If the price doesn't move from $99, then you get a reward of $148.50 plus Kusama doubling, which is $598.50. And obviously that is less than the $630. If CRU was to double over the year, then obviously the total reward goes quite a bit, $747. Or if the CRU price was to triple, then the total reward is closer to $900, which in these two cases, obviously it does beat the $630. So obviously that is attractive compared to my naive base case. Now the thing here is I do think that Kusama will see some quite nice network effects, because it will have multiple parachains, and each of the network effects of each individual parachain I think will roll up to Kusama, and it will help Kusama's overall network effects. That said, because Kusama is already like 3.5 billion or 4 billion, it's harder to make that move by 2 times or 10 times, because it's already got a pretty big market cap relative to a parachain, whereas it's easy for a parachain to go from a $10 million market cap to a $20 million market cap, or from 10 million to 100 million. So that's where an individual parachain could move faster in terms of market cap. But the overall kind of network effects from multiple parachains, I think, will be a benefit to Kusama. And obviously these are things like it's a little bit tricky to model, and obviously I can't take into account every single scenario in, my analysis. It's just, it's a bit too complex. But, again, this is education. This is kind of helping you, to point you in the right direction, get you thinking in the right way and saying, okay, what sort of, what is the reason for even holding something like CRU? What is the point for getting involved in a PLO? Are the rewards even remotely attractive? And, I probably sound a bit negative at times, but I think there is reason to get involved, but it's just not entirely a smoking gun. If the price was $80, so this is like the next step, let's just say that the price just didn't move from where it is now, around the $80 level. Then, the market cap's 138. And so what that means is that your reward after 1 year would be $570. And we don't know, the price could go double and then it could fall again, such that, 1 year on from now, your rewards are, at that level. If CRU was to double or to triple from the $80 level, then your rewards are either going to be $690 or $810, both of which beat my base case of KSM doubling and the staking rewards of 20%. The one thing that I haven't really mentioned in this presentation, but I did it way in a previous presentation with Garura, is that you could just buy the tokens in the open market and then just hold them, so ignore the PLO. In kind of fairly naive calculations, that actually turned out to be a better scenario. If you buy, $450 worth of CRU tokens, that might end up being better than locking them up into the PLO. The reward, anyway, you guys will probably have to do the numbers on that rather than just trusting me. I did it before for Karura, and I was vaguely convinced that that was the smarter way to go for Karura. To be honest, Karura has so many nuances that I just can't even capture all of them because there's extra rewards for different things. Anyway, that was another video. Yeah, so I didn't really have too much more to say on Crust. I just wanted to update the numbers that I had because obviously they had updated the reward structure, so my numbers were, just a little bit wrong, but I guess really wrong. I still don't know that it makes sense to get involved. That's something you're going to have to think on yourself. I did want to wrap this up by doing my kind of usual thing now that I do in all of the videos, which is to say we have a Discord and we have a Reddit. For Reddit, we are now over 5,000 members. We're 5,200 members. Discord is obviously quite a bit less, but in both cases, I think we get pretty good signal to noise. We have a lot of chat around Polkadot. Obviously, we do chat a little bit around other things because, it is a market and Polkadot doesn't exist in isolation. The topics obviously range from kind of lowbrow to highbrow, so we get a good mix. I'm not going to promise that everything is like super highbrow, but we've had good signal to noise, and I really like it. I think that's really cool, and I want to welcome you guys to also come and join the community, and hopefully see you in Discord, hopefully see you in Reddit. Ask me questions about the video, or just start chatting to other people in the community and asking them questions and improving your own education. So with that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.